talking a little bit about crypto. I started doing this October 24th, 2020, because I did not want to drive my family and friends crazy about me sitting here talking about this amazing, mind-blowing thing I've discovered called cryptocurrency and decentralized finance. And this entire fourth industrial revolution, Web 3.0, blockchain 3.0, you name it, this is the reinvention of the internet as we know it. And if you are in here just to trade and just to speculate, well, you've only opened the first door, because there's plenty more to unlock. Today I have a guest, and that's another amazing thing about me basically recording and streaming all my blunders and discovery process on here, is I've gotten to talk to people on Twitter. I've gotten to educate myself on a bunch of really cool projects. I've done some project specific videos, and one of those project specific videos was Ark Blockchain. And I do my best to cover some of the concepts and topics of these blockchains at the level of my understanding of where I was at the time. But since then, I can say I've come a long way. And then as well, I've also discovered a new media platform called MarketSquare.io. And I follow Brynn Huxtable on Twitter. And I was like, you know what, this would be a great topic to talk about on the show. So I reached out and I asked him if he's interested, and he decided to come on. So Brynn Huxtable is hailing from South Africa, and he decided to join me today. Here's Brynn, and he is the content manager for Ark.io, and he is also a writer for MarketSquare.io. And he lives in South Africa. He's a musician, and he's into crypto and blockchain technology. And I will let him say anything more that he wants to say about himself right now, just to go ahead and start off with. Like, tell me a little bit about how your background, a little bit about South Africa, if you want, and the crypto scene there, and a little bit about how you got involved with all this stuff.
Oh, thanks, John. Thanks for having me on your show. It's really, really great to finally meet you and just chat about blockchain and crypto and all that. My name's Brynn. I'm from South Africa, and as John said, I'm the content manager for Ark.io, and I guess a contributing writer at this point in time for MarketSquare.io. But I do hail from a city in South Africa called Durban. It's on the east coast, in KwaZulu-Natal. With the whole blockchain thing, I kind of first got into crypto back in, I guess, 2017, sort of the middle of 2017. My dad told me about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I was like, what are you talking about? What's crypto? I didn't really have any understanding of it. And he was like, he's been buying and he's thinking of mining Bitcoin and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, mining Bitcoin? What, like how, he's like, digitally. I was like, oh, okay, like, how do you do that? And I guess it just sort of snowballed from there. And then I started doing research into different protocol, and I got more and more interested in like what blockchain can do and all this kind of stuff, and where it's going and what the point of it all is. When I started off, I was kind of I got into a few altcoins and stuff. I remember at one point I was a huge XRP maximalist, and I caught a lot of flack for that, to say the very least. That's everybody each to their own. But I kind of moved on with my understanding of crypto. I started looking more into altcoins, and then Ark I discovered in 2018, and I was like, wow, this is a very interesting project. And I checked out the site and kind of what they were talking about, and just got more and more into it. And then the bear market hit, and I kind of lost a bit of money. So I was a bit despondent, and kind of like I remember I held some ETH. I was like, what, I'm gonna ETH at a low price. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go up. And then one day I just remember it kind of was like double the price. I was like, oh wow, maybe I should divest. And then I checked again, and it was 4 times. And I was like, oh, this is cool. What's going on? And it just got back into the whole crypto thing full on, and changed my attitude completely. And that's kind of where things got started there. And then in terms of South Africa, the history here, it's a very interesting country. We call it the Rainbow Nation. Like I said, I'm in a province called KwaZulu-Natal. Unfortunately, South Africa doesn't have the happiest history. We do have, we had apartheid for a good 5 decades, where there was pretty much, I guess you could say, forced segregation, and there was white privilege and that kind of stuff. And there was, that only was really dismantled in 1994. And unfortunately, with recently we've had quite a lot of unrest politically. In fact, right in my home province, like down the road, literally just buildings getting burnt. And it's a couple of weeks ago we had this rioting and mass looting, and literally like 5-10 minutes away from where I am right now. So I've been on street patrols, and kind of like just, and it's been crazy. And then in fact we are anticipating some more trouble potentially. We don't know for a fact, but in fact from tomorrow, so I'm going to be on duty again. So it's a very complicated country. It's got huge amounts of potential, massive amounts of inequality, and that's also something that I think people need to understand, is that crypto is also meant to address these issues and give people who don't have access to wealth and services the ability to improve their quality of life and stop depending on governments that are inherently corrupt, centralized, and are incapable of fulfilling their roles. So that's just kind of my opinion about that. And I mean, these
governments, they don't really take the side of a lot of people. They take the side of the advantage, the people that are established, and those people don't want to lose their power. And the thing that crypto has done, and Cardano talks about this a lot as well, about their mission to go to Africa. And I imagine with the close proximity that you might have to a lot of very indigenous type of people who don't really have access to a lot of the, I hate to use first and third world, but developed country type of facilities. And they've been using the crypto wallets a lot of times, and people say, there's more crypto activity going on between mud huts and goat farms than there is in a lot of times first world nations, and we're stuck with telephone poles and wires when they're using wireless phones. So they in a way have an advantage of being lightweight, would you say?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. There is some benefit to that, I would say. But Africa is definitely fertile ground for crypto adoption, as far as I'm concerned. And I think Nigeria, it's extremely popular. That's really coming in big time. And then even in other countries like Zimbabwe, we're actually, I saw some stats the other day. We are 16th in the world for crypto adoption.
Wow.
I think Vietnam is like first, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that. So, but
That's really cool. So what you were saying at the beginning about getting into all the altcoins and getting into XRP, I absolutely relate to that. I had my entire portfolio, which looked like a Boy Scout sash, just full of merit badges with crypto logos on them. And people get really tribal, as far as their crypto of choice. And it's almost like they're choosing a football team. I think American football, you think soccer, but So I've bought XRP too, and I'm not going to dog on XRP. It has its purpose and it has its following and everything, and some people with XRP have done very well. But it just goes to show the tribalism as far as I'm concerned. With that being said, how did you get involved with Ark specifically?
I've just found myself more and more drawn to the project. Particularly in the last couple of months, I started looking more and more at the tech, the philosophy, and I just like the energy. I like the community, and I just started looking more and more into it and kind of what they had to offer. And in fact, I got my job because they in their monthly updates our monthly updates that we do. They said they're looking for talent, and they're hiring. And I thought to myself, all right, well, let me go check out the careers page and see what these guys are looking for. There's development jobs and social media management positions. And they were actually looking particularly for a technical writer. Now, I'm not really, I'm from a writing background, but more textbooks and economics and from more the academic side of things. And I kind of, had this debate, and I was like, I don't know if I should really apply for this job. I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste their time. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just like, I'm going to send them I'm going to say, you know what? I like what you guys are doing. I really like the philosophy, and I want to work for your company. That was my pitch.
Yeah.
And then, much to my surprise, I kind of forgot about it. And then I got an email from our brand manager, Justin Rankin. And I was kind of like, whoa, what? It's like he's replied, and they're interested. And just started talking more to them, and I did some preliminary sort of tests and stuff, and answered some questions, went through some interviews, and I guess they were happy with what they found, and so now I'm part of the team, and that's my story with Ark. Really,
that's pretty rad. A lot of people get the interest in blockchain, and they start speculating and trading, and then it's becomes such a part of their life that they want to work full time in the space, but they don't know how to program. And I can kind of look at some Solidity code and know what's going on, but it's pushing it, and then a lot of people can't even. They just look at a page of code, and they're just like, "What in the hell is all this?" Hieroglyphics, basically. And so it is possible to get into the crypto space without being a dev. And in fact, the crypto space is sorely in need of content producers, writers, video producers, podcast producers, people that can explain, educators that can explain this stuff to people who are not coders or developers. Since crypto is such a technical space and blockchain technology is so hard to grasp, how do you bridge those two?
Well, that is the golden question, I suppose. How do you really get people who don't fundamentally understand the technical side of something that is particularly technical to adopt it and understand the purpose of it? So I think really all it is just exposure, and just people getting used to the syntax, the lexicon, and just being exposed to these new terms and everything in crypto, blockchain, DeFi, NFTs. Most people don't have a clue what's going on. I've had family members and friends who have checked out my articles that I've posted on Market Square, and they've gone, I started reading your article, and I was really interested, but I just got so lost, and I didn't really, So it's clear that there's still a lot of work to do. So even though you try to relate it, it's just kind of like, unless you've really immersed yourself somewhat in the blockchain space, you're going to find it difficult to really relate to what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I think the only reason I have an understanding of crypto is that I have been in it, and I have made mistakes, and I haven't fully understood. And it's still an emerging space. So I don't think people don't really see the purpose of it as such, or the vast majority. It's kind of like, well, we got banks, we got money, and it's not real money. It's like, it's all just vaporware and that kind of stuff. And what is the point? What's decentralization? So it's kind of all these buzzwords and this jargon that I think a lot of people don't get. So it is the role of people who can relate information in a way that is comprehensible, to impart that knowledge, in the sense that people need to understand the purpose. They need to understand that, and they need to understand why they need it and how it benefits them. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're not going to care if they don't see how it works. I think people, when it comes to money, their understanding is fairly rudimentary, and that's fine. But there's just so much more that you can do with your wealth and ways to increase it, and people just don't have exposure to that and don't have the instruments to achieve that.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Crypto and DeFi gives people that would never be accredited investors, myself included. I'm an 8 to 5 working schlep, and I just do this on my spare time, and I'm not an accredited investor, but it gave me the power to circumvent the credit system to get a good down payment for my car, so I can have a lower monthly payment from then on out. And I did that using crypto. And when you can present those real life cases in a journalistic way that you're doing, then the light bulb goes on. And then I've also seen on Market Square a video that covered Ready Player One, and it talked about, if you know that movie Ready Player One, and for those of you who don't know, it's based on the premise of the world is basically a kind of a dystopian nightmare, and people are putting on these Oculus VR glasses in order to log into something called the Oasis, and the Oasis is the metaverse in which they can go in and escape reality, and there's an entire economy and everything going on. Well, what you do in that economy can have repercussions in real life, but how would you get all that to work? And one thing that the market video covering Ready Player One talked about that, and they talked about the economy of Ready Player One, and they talked about the blockchain and Ark Blockchain, about how Ark Blockchain could do that. I don't know if you were one of the contributors to that, but you do write content for Market Square, and tell me a little bit about what Market Square is and how you came about doing that along with Ark.
Well, essentially, Market Square is part of Ark, and with Ark, that's kind of our brand, and that encompasses all our offerings that we have in the blockchain space. And Market Square is essentially one of those offerings, but its existence, I would say, is supposed to be about more than Ark. It's not really just meant to be a product in the sense that the way we're kind of selling it, if you will, is or packaging it is the new homepage for the decentralized web. That's what we're trying to do. So essentially, at the moment we're in our closed beta phase. So we haven't released it fully to the public as yet. But put it this way. In crypto, as you said, you see a lot of tribalism, you see a lot of division, and people who have their favorite products or not products, their favorite coins and tokens and platforms and that kind of stuff, and they've kind of all, they're like, this is the best thing that's ever happened, and this is the only answer, and that's all you ever need, and everybody's kind of repeating or sort of sharing this. They all have the same mentality in their different fragmented groups, and it's not to say that all projects are necessarily equal and that there aren't good and bad projects, but at the same time, there's a lot of fragmentation within the crypto space. So essentially, what Ark is about in terms of its philosophy is it's about we don't want to have any competitors, just future partners. That's kind of what we're wanting to do. So if you understand Ark, it's really supposed to be about interoperability and connecting chains and working with ecosystems and joining them together. So, whereas there's a lot of sort of dog eat dog and sort of competitive behavior within the crypto space, Ark is more about collaboration. Okay. And it's like, how can we find, really interesting projects and innovative ideas and bring that all into one platform that people can access. And a lot of the problems that you find with information, just talking about the education side, is that a lot of information you find about ICOs and tokenomics and whatever are either outdated or they're inaccurate or whatever. So a lot of the information that we're finding isn't actually accurate. People are being misinformed or don't really understand how things operate or what the purpose of those things are. So a huge component of Market Square is to try and bring transparency and credibility to the crypto space, because I think a lot of people do have reservations and are skeptical about it because they're like, oh well, this seems dodgy and I don't want to lose my money, and it's risky trading, and it's like I don't want to know anything about that. So really, we've put together a platform that. Well, what happens is we've got projects that already currently we've onboarded that have their own pages, and they have access to the platform, and they can curate that and upload information and manage their pages and build their own sort of ecosystems within a given hub, for example, which I'll explain in a bit. But they have full autonomy over that, and they can list all the projects that they have or their offerings within their given project, their wider platform, and people can, find out more information about it, watch videos about it. They can access, they can use that as a portal. They can leave reviews. They can, converse with the developers and the creators. And essentially, what Market Square is really about is just trying to create, a platform where everybody can use it and different projects can come together, and we can all sort of build a wider crypto community rather than all of these sort of fragmented, tribalistic entities that we find at the moment. So I guess that's about the long and short of it.
Okay, so Market Square is basically Medium blog, but all with no separate web URLs. Everything just kind of on one central page, like a social media hub.
In a sense, that's I wouldn't necessarily say that Market Square is just for blogging or just or is comparable to Medium in the sense that it's really about education, and it's about information and building collaboration and that kind of stuff. And there's going to be opportunities for users to list their own projects and work with developer bounties and interface with other people, and we can start to grow a wider ecosystem where people can perform a number of different tasks, I guess, and engage in different activities to build, the facilitate the development of Web 3.0 products and offerings.
Okay, so I'm on Market Square right now. Unless you want to share your screen, you're welcome to kind of point me through it. But I see all these Explore hubs, and there's Ark and Hive are active right now, and then I see these kind of spots where all these others could potentially be on here. So each project that is on here would have their own little section to where they could add and upload and delete and put whatever content they wanted to basically tell about their project, right? And give updates.
Yeah. So at the moment we do have we do have hubs, and at the moment we only have the Ark hub and the Hive hub.
Yeah.
But as you can see, there are other projects that are going to be listed: Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. So there's going to be numerous hubs, but obviously, we haven't. It's still in development. We are still developing a lot of the functionality of Market Square. So hence why it's in the closed beta phase, and people have just been trying it out, and we've been trying to work out some of the bugs and just get it, to a sort of place where we're happy with it and we're ready to release it on the market. But hubs work in that you can go straight to a hub, and you can then see all of the various dApps and games and whatever that might be based on that platform will be listed under that hub, and then you will be able to find Solana-based projects or Hive-based projects or Ark stuff.
Yeah.
On Ark, we've got the Ark timeline, we've got our desktop wallet, we've got the mobile wallet, as well as a lot of our delegates and that sort of thing. So you can use that as a portal, and then you can move into different aspects of that, and you can check out each of those individual components and find out more and educate yourself about that, watch videos on them, leave reviews, again, interact with other users, and then down the line you'll be able to access other resources as well, giving you more information that's accurate, up to date, and well curated.
Nice. Okay. So it's really about a new way or a different way of curating of various projects and creating
in a sense,
presentable. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So it's not going to supplant projects, but it's going to just bring it's going to act as a kind of not adhesive, I'm trying to think of, but just something to bring these different projects together and just allow other communities to explore other spaces that they may have otherwise been too reluctant to check out, because they kind of, it's like they're stuck in their little box. And now when they're on Market Square, it's like, hey, curiosity, you want to look at different things, you'll see featured games and collectibles, and all that kind of stuff. And then you can go, hey, what's this cool project? Why is it featured? What's so great about it? What are the fundamentals? Is it worth investing in, or is it worth what's its function?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
So you can easily just jump from one blockchain to the other without knowing, their specific URL like Medium does, right? Medium, each person kind of has their own subdomain, and then they have to send the link over, and you have to go specifically to that, Ark Medium page, or that, whatever project XYZ Medium page. Here, it's all located in one place, so you can hop back and forth. Is that kind of the point of it?
That is pretty much it. So yeah. it's to encourage people to get out of this mindset that this is the only way, and otherwise, if we want to move towards wider adoption and to be taken seriously, it's necessary for us to move beyond a single platform. Yeah. And look at ways to, and I think as well, the ability to choose what crypto assets you like and what projects you like, it gives a certain amount of freedom. Yeah. And it allows people to generate more wealth. Uh-huh. If everything it's like, otherwise, if it's just one currency, it's the hegemon. It has complete control, and then the way wealth will be generated or will be limited to a degree. Obviously, there are people who don't share that vision, but essentially, for Ark and Market Square, we see the future of crypto as something that is multifaceted, multi-asset, and multi-chain.
So the key word, I think, for 2021 for blockchain technology has been interoperability. And we say that Market Square and Ark kind of follow along this theme.
Yeah, absolutely. We do stand for interoperability. We do want to connect disparate chains, and we want to be able, we want to get blockchains to talk to one another, which is a little bit more complicated than it seems. Yeah, so really a lot of it is still, interoperability. It's a nice idea at the moment, but it's still mainly, it's not really all the way there yet. But again, I still think a lot of the stuff we see in crypto is in its infancy. DeFi as well, NFTs. I think we're just scratching the surface with the possibilities at this point. Yeah. So again, what's also great about something like Market Square is that it'll encourage people who don't belong to a community or don't have any tribe, your sort of individuals on the fringes, to kind of, it'll act as a sort of magnet and bring them into the fold and go, oh wow, there's a lot of opportunities here to expand my knowledge and to access wealth and start a new career and just really grow as an individual and find ways to circumvent a lot of those structures that might be limiting them from achieving whatever it is they want to achieve, in their own lives.
Yeah. There's so many just YouTube instructional videos and step-by-step how to install MetaMask videos, and just there's a lot of repetition of the same kind of content. And then you do have to go to a bunch of different places, and sometimes it's not always reliable. Do you guys have some kind of vetting system that's in order to figure out what types of content and projects could be up there instead of maybe some fly-by-night operations?
Yeah, we don't just let, at this point we're not just letting any project onto Market Square. We are trying our very best to ensure that it's transparent and credible teams with existing content, existing communities that have actually got something to show for it. It's not just like you said, fly-by-night scam type stuff. We obviously don't want to promote any of that sort of thing. But ultimately, at this point, we're kind of doing the vetting and adding those projects we believe have a lot of value and are intrinsic to crypto. But down the line, I think that the communities will play a greater and greater role as they decide, what has value and what doesn't. So at present, it's kind of the core team handling that. But down the line, as it begins to grow and become its own entity, I think we'll see that the community plays a greater and greater role in governance and how Market Square as a platform develops and what they would like to see in terms of functionality.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. As far as the decision making is a little centralized right now, which is not a bad thing, especially for a project starting out. That's kind of a thing in the crypto space. Is some people start to have, I guess, nasty vibes about centralization. It's really neither good or bad. It's whatever suits the current purpose of it, right? And then whenever you're starting out, you kind of want things centralized, to make sure it gets pushed off in the right direction. And then later on, you can decentralize. So, are there any plans for Market Square to possibly decentralize?
Um, I believe so. I can't attest to exactly how decentralized or centralized Market Square will end up as.
Yeah.
At this point, it is pretty much the core team controlling things. As I said, I think that's going to depend a lot on the community uptake and inputs,
Yeah.
and how people want things to run. If they want it to be more community run, then I'm pretty sure we'll see more elements of decentralization coming in. At this point, we've only scratched the surface with what we're sort of doing.
Yeah.
But essentially, one way you could look at it is we're trying to create, and it might be as an overly simplistic way of viewing it, as a crypto-based or a blockchain-based version of LinkedIn. And
Okay.
again, that's not to say that it'll
Yeah.
be a carbon copy of that, but it is essentially a social network, because it's all focused on community. That's really what it is all about, trying to highlight great projects and great individuals and people doing something that contributes to the betterment of the world and the improvement of people's lives fundamentally,
Yeah.
not just quick cash grabs and fly by night pump and dumps and that sort of thing. I don't think Ark has ever been about that, and I don't think we ever will be.
Yeah.
So that's not the way we want to operate. It's all about the tech. We're very interested in the projects and bringing those to the fore.
Oh yeah, I can attest to you guys are all about the tech. I've seen plenty of interviews, with Justin Rankin, or not interviews, but videos and stuff like that. And as with the Ark team, Ark is kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ark is kind of maybe a blockchain creator. So if you want to start your own blockchain, Ark would be a good place to start, like a WordPress of blockchains. Maybe could you kind of say that?
I have seen a couple of videos about that as well. Comparing Arc to the WordPress of blockchain, and I think that's a fair comparison. It's it's difficult to say. It's a nice way of looking at it. It's a nice analogy, because I think people understand the functions of WordPress, but that's the idea with Arc, is that you'll be able to implement your own blockchains, node management. We've got Deployer coming out. And we're also looking at, or we have pretty much released details about our new multi-asset wallet Pavo, but we haven't actually formally released that yet. But there's more information about that on our Twitter and the Arc site that you can find out about. So
okay, so
but that's pretty much it. Sorry. Yeah?
No, I'll the rest.
Okay. It's all, again, we do believe that the future is multi-asset. So Pavo is part of that. It's going to allow people to use one wallet to do a whole lot of different, work with a whole lot of different tokens and coins and crypto assets, and exchange them and manage them all from one central location. So they don't have to constantly access different wallets and try to, everything's just going to be stored on there, and it'll just allow you to quickly make payments and accept payments. And that's going to be great for people who want to integrate crypto payments into their business models, and online retailers, and even individuals. There's a lot of time and effort being put into that as well.
Okay. So Ark is focusing on interoperability. Market Hub is kind of curating with a general philosophy of no tribalism. So that's interoperability in its own way. So they're both kind of carrying this interoperable theme. Ark is kind of a WordPress of blockchains, allowing anybody to create their blockchain. And Market Hub is allowing basically...
Market Square, yeah.
Market Square, is creating a place for projects.
Yeah, the hub's on Market Square.
Creating a place for projects to do their own marketing in a way. albeit within a curated type of manner. But they're both kind of focusing on this, you do it yourself, we'll provide the platform type of theme. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's more or less it. Again, we will allow projects to manage their own pages, add team members, and just interact with the wider crypto community in a more meaningful way. That's what we're hoping to do, and to allow them to post links to developer bounties and careers and portals to projects and dApps, and just really build the wider crypto community. Again, the focus is community. And everybody is welcome. That's it. It's not like it's just these people or that or those people. Again, yes, at the moment we are vetting projects, but eventually everyone will be able to participate. And then, by the merits of their projects and the community's perceptions and evaluations of those projects, that will determine their value.
Cool. Yeah, I see we've had some people jump on. ProDad75 has a question. When will the platform be released? So I don't know if you have a date or just a kind of rough idea, or if you're even allowed to say it. And then will a coin be associated?
Yes, if I actually am allowed to divulge all of this top secret information. Yeah. Tentatively, it will be in Q3. That is about all I can tell you. So it's within the next couple of weeks or maybe a month or two. That's the projection. Again, we do have information available on the Ark blog, so you can just check that out. And you can obviously as well, if you want to find out more about Market Square, you can go check it out. You can sign up for the newsletter, and we will notify you. Essentially, again, if you want to check out the closed beta, it is already available at marketsquare.io. It's not fully released, but we're going to be rolling out different components. It's not like boom, here's your platform, everything's like all working. It's we're sort of just doing it in a phased stage. So we're not trying to bite off more than we can chew, because then we kind of move too forward and too fast into the development and go, oh, we've got all this stuff, but none of it works. Yeah. So that's not what we're about. We're about, let's get it right. Let's make sure that this is functional and people look at it and go, wow, this is amazing. This is what we want to see, and we want to be part of this.
Yeah.
So that's the way we approach it. But yeah, so you can check out the closed beta, but the public release should be in Q3.
Right on. I can absolutely respect wanting to do it right the first time. I'm about 10 minutes over, so that's what happens. I get wrapped up and I get really interested in the topic, and then I'm just like, bam! It's like 30 minutes has come and gone. But I really appreciate you coming on my Small Potatoes show. This is me just kind of getting it all started and just kind of throwing it out there, just like what you did when you applied to try to go into crypto as a job, and you're just kind of doing what you got to do and just taking a leap of faith and jumping out there and saying, all right, this is like what I want to do. So I admire that, and
absolutely.
So, you can't come into this space thinking that you know it all, or sometimes that you even know anything about it. And if it's something that you want to do, just do it, and then it'll all fall into place later. Fake it till you make it, right? But there is a POAP.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, there's a POAP available for this show, and a POAP is a proof of attendance protocol, and it's basically an NFT that shows that you saw this show. It's worth absolutely nothing right now, but who knows? In the future, will NFTs still even be around? We don't know. But something that you can hold in your wallet, and people are using POAPs, and as you can see from the site, the CryptoPunks NFTs and stuff, they're worth money, and people are using them as profile pics and stuff like that. They're kind of they're badges of clout. So claim your POAP. There's 100 POAPs total. I gave Brynn 50 POAPs links, and I have 50 POAP links. They link to the XDAI chain, which is a side chain of Ethereum. You claim them, and it goes into the XDAI chain. If you want to transfer over to your Ethereum MetaMask wallet, you can do that. There's instructions on how to do that on POAP.xyz. I'll put all that stuff in the link in the video, and this is going to go on YouTube and BitChute and Odyssey. And once again, thanks from jumping on all the way from South Africa, live on Theta TV. This is an awesome interview. This is exactly why I do this stuff. This is, every time I finish an interview, I'm just completely fired up and stoked, and I go out to make breakfast for my family, and I'm just like, all, yeah! So, thanks again. Sorry, I was getting all rowdy.
Awesome. No. Thank you, John. Thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you guys for checking it out. Check out our platforms. And yeah, hit me up on Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever you want. And let's talk.
Right on. All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that was that. That's a wrap. All right. I will be uploading this video. And I hear the natives upstairs getting restless. So I will go ahead and call it a day and go get on my Sunday and go to marketsquare.io, check it out. Check out ark.io, the blockchain. It's an interesting, unique blockchain, as we described before. And shoot me me or Brynn a DM on Twitter or by email, EurekaStreetCryptoHub@gmail.com, and I'll get you that POAP. Alrighty. Thank you. Bye.